We're looking forward to a great summer, and we can make it even more memorable and fun by learning a few strategies to enhance our safety and security. As part of the Teach, Reach, and Empower series, we have Carrie Pasquarello back with us today to talk about cybersecurity awareness on vacations, petty crime, scams, and summer water safety. Our goal is to teach you the skills to avoid wasting time, money, energy, so you can kick back, enjoy, relax, and connect with your family on your next vacation, wherever that might be around the world. Thank you, Carrie, for being back on the show with us today.
The Dominican Republic, we've had some very unfortunate news coverage lately. We're up to about 7 deaths, 4 injuries, assaults, missing people. So I've been following one particular person that's been missing for almost 3 years now. His name was Daryl Fontona. And it's really a terrible situation, what's happening right now. And so when we think about Dominican Republic or anywhere we're traveling, we really want to make sure that we're looking and vigilant about looking at the safety situations in these countries. So for instance, for Dominican Republic, number 1 concern for me is crime. Number 2 would be road safety, which the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, has ranked them 13th most dangerous roads. So just one more thing to kind of think about when you're planning your vacations.
We're not going to talk about roads, but the 13th, it'd be interesting to look at what are they looking at when it comes to the roads to determine that they have made it on the list for 13.
Right, yeah.
But
there are a lot of different features for that, and we'll definitely have to have a show about world roads in the future for sure.
Right. So cybersecurity, I want to focus about cybersecurity and when you go on vacation, and what are some things we need to be cognizant of when traveling?
Yeah, so one of the questions people say, why should we be concerned about cybersecurity? And what's interesting is we are approaching $600 billion of loss this past year for cyber crimes. That is outrageous. So one of the things we have to think about that we can do personally is to protect ourselves is not to get hacked. So we have to be vigilant. There's certain things we can do to try to prevent that.
That's so important, and I don't think that an average person thinks about, we're going on vacation, I have to worry about where I charge my cell phone. So let's talk about free hotspots.
Yeah, so we have many different free hotspots. And this is whether you're in the United States or traveling outside the United States. For instance, Starbucks or any type of airport, or for instance, your hotel. So when we're logging on to free hotspots, what we really want to do is make sure that there's a password and that we understand which is the hotspot we're logging on to. So one of the quick things that criminals and cyber hackers will do is they'll set up a hotspot in the particular zone, and they'll name it similar to what is being offered. So for instance, you go into Starbucks, they might have a Starbucks free Wi-Fi, you can click on it, but the hacker just added one to it, and it's one Starbucks, or it's starbucks.net. They could do all sorts of different codes or words for their particular hotspot, and random people just click onto the one that's available, and boom, cyber hackers can get into your cell phones or your computer.
So if you're at the restaurant or wherever you are, make sure you go ask them, what's your
hotspot name?
What's your hotspot name? And they should have a password.
That is the best way, is so when you go on to look for that hotspot, you want a little lock there, and you would need to put in a password.
Okay.
But unfortunately, a lot of places are making it super simple. You can just log on, without a password. But this is where it's critical that you know the name of the hotspot before you log on. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I know sometimes when I'm out there, if you go and visit the same location and you've logged on once, it'll automatically pop up.
Yes. And that is really interesting because I know we're going to talk about the pineapple. And so the pineapple is another tool that used to be used, and it still is used, for penetration testing. So companies will hire a company to come in with a pineapple and find their vulnerabilities so they can fix the problem, so they can be safer, more secure. Well, what has happened is cyber criminals have come in and they've actually used it for bad. So they put this in an area where people are logging on, and they actually are, it's almost like having the man in the middle. So they are actually able to, if they get you into their system of their pineapple because you didn't set on this setting on your cell phone or your computer saying that you want to specifically ask which networks you're connecting with.
Okay.
It's critical you put that on your phone, that you want to be able to connect with who you want. So what happens is, with this pineapple, it just grabs anybody that is looking for a hotspot.
Okay.
So they take you into their pineapple, and right there, they're man in the middle, looking at everything you're doing. And what's interesting is with these hackers, they can actually turn on your camera, and they can actually turn on your microphone, and they can get into your bank account information if you're doing some banking online at the time. They are just capturing all sorts of information. And so one of the things I always
What
talk
you brought
to
with us
our
goodies, yes.
clients is the webcam cover.
Right.
Please, everybody, get a webcam cover. Make sure that you put this on your computer or anywhere that maybe you have an item, even your television, if it's a smart TV and it has a camera, put this on. You only want people looking at you if you want them looking at you.
Right, so the little, you open it up like that, you stick it right on your cam cover. I have one at home because you gave me one of the, this is the GSR.
That's a Global Secure Resources
That's
one.
right.
We should give some of those away for free
We
one
should.
of these days.
Everyone at the studio is going to have one of these.
Absolutely, that sounds great.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so the pineapple, which is really interesting, if you go to any type of hacking conference or a cybersecurity conference, what they'll do is they have, it's a terrible thing, they have a running list that usually is on a big screen, and what they do is they place everybody in that conference that didn't block their hotspots. So what happened is you'll walk in, and just recently I was at a conference, and they had that list. It's called like the lamb sheep, it's the list where you don't want to be, right? It means that you're very vulnerable, and people can actually gather your information. It shames these cybersecurity people into making sure that they're locked down as well, because we're trying to teach others. We need to make sure we're practicing what we're talking about.
Well, these are key, really, really important tips for people traveling on vacation that I think they're not aware of.